So I have struggled with overeating most of my life, really. Uh, as long as I can remember. I remember comments from my aunt when she lived with us. She moved down here from Wisconsin. She lived in Florida with us. And I remember her making comments about how I was just always eating. And I'd always find food in the pantry and just comments about what I was eating and how much I was. Those are kind of, I guess, the earliest memories I can remember, and even really going back to my last name as a Dittmer. If you're a Dittmer, you love to eat. Like my whole dad's side of my family are bigger people, man. Like we're fat, and the Dittmers are fat. To be honest with you, and yeah. So there's one thing that has really helped me with overeating over the years of. The one thing that's really helped me over the years is actually just eating breakfast after days that I have had a really bad day of eating. You know what this means, and I'll tell you exactly what this looked like the other day. Saturday, we get a text from our friends, and they're like, "Hey, let's go get lunch." And my wife were like, "All right, cool, let's go do that." So we go to a local spot downtown. They've got some beer. They got some really good flatbread. So me and my buddy, we get a couple beers. The girls are talking. My buddy get a couple beers and a flatbread. If you're just like me, you're thinking, "Whoa, that's bad. Why would you eat a flatbread? That's not good for you." Yeah, that's the same way I used to think too. So we're sitting there chatting, and we're starting to try to figure out what we're gonna do Saturday night, and we decide that we're gonna go to a local brewery. So, and we were going to invite a couple of our other friends. So we decided to go to the local brewery. We took some time off. Okay. We left lunch, and I guess we're older now. And we were like, dude, everybody kind of just wanted to chill, and some of us wanted to like take a nap. It was kind of funny. But we went back to our friends' houses and just kind of chilled, hung out for a little bit. Me and my buddy threw football in the backyard, just enjoying our Saturday. So then we go to the local brewery, right? We invite our other friends. We get another beer there, hanging out, chit-chatting. And then we start talking about dinner. Oh, what are we going to do for dinner tonight? Oh, let's pick up pizza on the way back home and we'll eat at our house. So we decided to do that. So the whole day was beer, flatbread, pizza. Okay, that was the day. Aside from I had a pretty good breakfast after I lifted on Saturday morning. Excuse me. But aside from that, a bad day of eating, right? You're probably thinking, what in the hell? Like if you resonate with this, you're thinking, what in the hell? That's a horrible day of eating. And in a day like this, 4 years ago would have totally derailed me for days and maybe even weeks. And so typically in years past, what this would have looked like after a day of eating a bunch of bad food like that, right? It would have led me to getting up on Sunday morning or the next morning thinking, what the fuck did you just do? Why did you eat like that? And I probably would have weighed myself, seen the damage done, seen the weight go up, and been like immediate feeling guilty and shameful for what I did. And then again, asking myself, like, why would you do that? So then with this guilt and shame, I would have felt like I needed to be really perfect with my diet from there. I would have eaten a little bit lighter. I would have tracked everything to an absolute T. I would have tried to be really perfect and not had absolutely any bad foods whatsoever. And then lunch would have been the same thing. And then dinner would have been the same thing until some sort of willpower in me broke. Then I would have absolutely just started destroying snacks later in the night. Because I would go and smoke and then I'd come back and destroy food. And that was part of my issue of why I was overeating and really binge eating a lot. I couldn't control my vices either. So it was I had this really big cycle that I was going through of like eat bad, restrict, or eat bad, feel guilty and shameful, restrict the day after, and then that restriction finally lost its power, or I lost willpower, finally broke, and then I would destroy some other snacks again, and then the whole cycle would repeat, right? So what's really helped me break that now is just when a bad day happens and a bad night happens or whatever meal happens, is being very, not trying to be perfect with the next meal, not trying to be perfect with breakfast the next day, enjoying a normal breakfast and that I would normally eat, and like going about it. It doesn't mean, what this could look like is instead after, for example, what we did on this past Sunday is Sundays for us in our house, me and my wife, I will make banana pancakes for us. She really loves them. That's what we do before church. So I'll make banana pancakes, and that's just our Sunday morning tradition. What this would have looked like in the past is I would have lightened up on the banana. I would have done half a banana, or I would have just had eggs and said, I'm not eating any of the carbs because I need to reduce the calories from last night. I ate way too much yesterday. So I'm going to reduce all those calories today. And I would have tried to eat really light, okay? And this sounds logical, right? You're probably like, this sounds very logical. Of course, you overate, so you would want to restrict to make up for the calories that you ate. But really, if you're stuck in this cycle like I was, I've gone through so many iterations of gaining 20 pounds while trying to lose 20 pounds. I have yo-yoed my weight, lost weight, and then gained it back several times, tried a lot of different diets. And if you are like that and you've struggled with all or nothing, like it's either you are all in on this diet or you're not. And if you're not, everything is just like floodgates are open. There's no gray area at all. This is how I was, and is honestly in the back of my mind even to this day, but I've learned to manage and control it a lot. So ultimately, if you do resonate with that, the restriction of trying to, the restriction after having a bad day of eating is actually the thing that is keeping you stuck in the cycle of overeating, of absolutely destroying the foods and in an uncontrollable manner, and then hating yourself for it. Like that is what is keeping you in this cycle. And really, this very simple tip, it's not complicated. It's very simple, and actually mentally is not easy. But just doing that and having the discipline of like, no, I'm not going to restrict anything about the next meal, my breakfast, or anything. I'm just going to eat it normal, and I'm going to forget what happened yesterday. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to have grace for what I did yesterday. I'm not going to beat myself up over it, and then move on. That is the thing that has actually led me to being able to keep weight off. And I got up to like 218, maybe 220. I remember 218 very distinctly in my journey. And when I got all the way up to 218, really it was actually a 50-pound swing, because I was playing football at Davidson, and I tore my ACL before I got there, so I wasn't able to play, and yada yada yada. That really started this cycle that I'm talking about. But I went from when I got to school, I was 170 pounds, 169 pounds, and from when that cycle began to my heaviest was almost 50 pounds. It's a 50-pound swing. So, but when I say gain 20 pounds or trying to lose 20 pounds, by the time I really realized I had an issue, I had a problem with it, I was already up 25 pounds. I was up to 195. So I was trying to get back down to basically what I was, but gained up to 218, 220 in that process. So, man, it's this would actually be like the number one thing that I would say needs to be done if you are somebody that is struggling with this, that is struggled with this binge restrict cycle. And until you're able to mentally get past that, and you're able to let go of these things that you've done and not sit in them, and not let the emotion of guilt and shame control you, and then even into other vices. Like I mentioned the smoking that I was doing, like these vices also played a role in my whole guilt and shame cycle that I was in. So, excuse me, it's, again, it sounds counterintuitive, but when you master that skill, well, I haven't mastered it. I've just gotten exponentially better at it. It's still hard. It's still in the back of my mind. These things creep in still to this day, and it's been, 5 years that since like its inception of my life. Well, 6 years actually, and you know, but I've been able to keep weight off that I have lost in that process, and learning this. A lot of different iterations, that and getting rid of restrictive diets, getting rid of needing to be perfect, and having actually a better plan, and actually trying to live by standards and values for myself rather than living for like the vanity of what I'm going to look like and what I'm supposed to look like. And looking this way will get me this thing, and standards and values, and learned integration of diet and lifestyle is really the things that have helped me the most in this process. But I wanted to make this is probably actually longer than I wanted it to be, but I wanted to make this video because it really helped me. It's really helped me. And if you resonate with any of this and you've struggled with this as well, I know it will help you too. Mentally, it can be a lot though. It can feel like, no, why would I do that? That's just going to make me gain more weight. I understand. I totally understand. And if you do resonate with this and you want to connect with me on Instagram, shoot me a DM. I'd love to chat with you, love to connect with you. I'll also put my booking call link down below if you also want to schedule a call and go deeper into whatever you're struggling with. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and any comments on your specific journey and questions. And we'll see you guys in the next one.